It kind of looks hard, right? That's TransFats, and also high fructose corn syrup. The body really doesn't know what to do with it, so it kind of changes the composition of the body as well. So this company started in 1911 by two guys named William Proctor and James Gamble. They were selling soaps and candles. Okay, now to make soaps and to make candles, they both have one thing in common. They both need one ingredient. Does anyone know what that ingredient is?
Lard.
Lard. Thank you. You need lard to make both TransFats, and you need lard to make candles. Okay, so it's like petrol today. 1 week it's $1.30. Next week it's $1.15. Next week it's $2. Right? It's like, what's going on? And one thing, if you know about business, if I was consistently bad, it wouldn't bother you. If I was consistently good, that wouldn't bother you. But if one day I was good and one day I was bad, that would bother you. Okay? People want consistency when they get someone from business. Right? They want a consistent service. That's why Macca's spends, and all those franchises, any franchise business, they want a consistency of service. They want consistent prices. You go into a Macca's anywhere in the world, you have the same experience. Whether that's a bad experience or whether it's a good experience, you have exactly the same experience. So people get really pissed off when they have an inconsistent dealing with businesses. It's really true. Yeah? So they were getting really pissed off at the fact that the meat industry were one day saying, hey, look, it's $1 a barrel, next day it's $2 a barrel. So they go, you know what? Screw this. We've heard of a method developed by this German chemist named Kaiser, found a way to restructure a condensate plant and make it solid. So a trans fatty acid is basically something that's solid, turn liquid, turn solid, or liquid, turn solid, turn liquid. Okay, so there's a process and transformation of that. Alright? So in 1910 to 1911, the light bulb, and you might think, what the hell's the correlation between this? But the light bulb became a practical expense thanks to William David Coolidge, no, not Thomas Edison, thanks to the making of the tungsten filament. Alright? So the reason why the light bulb plays a part of this is because if now I have a light bulb that is now practical expense, what happens to half of my business when I'm selling candles? Goes down, right? But I've just invested all this money into a product to make money that now I can't get my dividends from that product, if that makes sense. So I've wasted all this money on something that I can no longer use. So half of my business is going to go down. I'm going to lose. I'm not going to recoup my losses. So these two guys went back to the drawing board, and it started like the idea of, hey, it's a fat, right? Why can't we cook with it? Hey, sure, we can cook with it. There's no doubt. It's a fat, right? Of course it's a fat. It's a synthetic form of a fat. It's not a natural fat, but we can certainly cook with it. So they developed a company called Crisco, and that started in 1911. Now, the point that they miss on their website is the fact that the light bulb was also the practical use. That's where I've kind of fit the pieces together and found out how it all kind of intertwined, right? So this was their marketing. And I should have also included on this slide some other pieces in their marketing where they have a male outside and a female inside, and they have it like Crisco, the wonder product. So the man's outside lighting a kerosene lamp, okay, and inside the woman's cooking with it. So that's their marketing. It was about 1911 when they came out with a cookbook, and it had basically every recipe in it, and they gave their cookbook away, much like the supplement companies do. It's say Body for Life, and they get a little pamphlet. And in the cookbook, it had all the recipes in it, from how to make lobster mornay to how to make cookies using Crisco. As part of their marketing, some of their marketing slogans included, at the time it was a revolutionary product, as Crisco's first ad in 1912 points out, you can fry fish in Crisco, and the Crisco will not absorb the fish odor. Then you can use the same Crisco for frying the potatoes without imparting the slightest fish flavour. So to females around the world in 1912, they're like, wow, this is an awesome product, I need to get it for my home. They didn't know really anything about the effects. So that's kind of where, that's kind of where it started from, right? Then Crisco obviously branched out as a company. They were in 1921, they started going into aiming at the Jewish population, so they came up, thank you, and they came with a kosher cookbook, right, and it had the Jewish element, and they really made their marketing orientated so that culture would grow up and teach their children to cook with Crisco and actually indoctrinate people thinking that Crisco is a healthy food, much like milk is today. Milk was given to our parents and to our grandparents and indated into us thinking that it's a healthy food, and really today, milk 50 years ago to milk today are two different things. Okay, you show me real milk today, the real milk today isn't milk, as far as I'm concerned. right? The milk 50 years ago, we could talk about that as real milk, but milk today is a different product. So, what are these things and where are they found? They're found in anything that's basically an artificial fat. So like margarine, for example. Margarine is a prime example of a trans fatty acid or a hydrogenated fat, okay? Do not use Crisco oils, do not use vegetable oils. If you're going to use oil, make sure it's coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil. Use those oils. Don't use trans fatty acids or vegetable oils, anything that's been hydrogenated, okay? The insidious thing about canola oil is that it's in places where you might not think it is, okay? Say for example, I had a note the other day, I bought a bag